All right, in this video, we're going to take a quick look at Aembit API. I'm going to tell you a little bit about why it's special, and then we're going to look at a quick demo. All right, so let's quickly talk about how the Aembit API isn't just any old API. First, there's plenty of authentication options. Aembit really focuses on machine and non-human identities, which means we're dealing with APIs all day, so we've made it really flexible. There's a couple ways to authenticate for the API. One is to use a session code, which is unique for each administrator. And then the second way is to use Aembit itself and utilize OpenID Connect to enhance the security. Next, you have full control when it comes to Aembit API. You can deploy, configure, manage, monitor everything. Any command that's available for you in the Aembit Cloud admin portal is available using APIs. You can use the Aembit API with Terraform to do your initial deployment, make updates, and then you can also manually use the Aembit Cloud admin portal. Next, there's versioning. So the great thing about that is you're never going to break the code that you've already written, because in the API URL, you can put the version, and then you can update the versioning and the API calls as you need when we add new features and functionality. We also support resource sets with the APIs, which means you can do a have a multi-tenant experience with a single organizational tenant. We also provide an open API YAML file. This makes it easy to see the API definitions, and it also lets you import the file itself into your code generator. And then last but not least, we also have mind-blowing documentation, which makes this whole thing super easy to use. I'll show you that in a second. All right, let's take a look at a demo on how to use Aembit's APIs. So first, we're in docs.aembit.io, and here you'll find the developer section, and you'll find all the commands you can run, including an overview that talks about how we do authentication. I'm going to be using the session token to access the APIs. One of the cool things about our APIs is all of the commands you need are available. We'll also give you code examples. We'll show you exactly what code to run. I'm going to run some of these in a moment, but let's take a quick look at an example. Let's take a look at the flexibility of Aembit's API. Here under access conditions, you can see that there are several API calls to review, create, update, and delete access conditions. The one that I'm going to run first is the Get Health API call. The documentation provides all the information you need in terms of schema and all that stuff. But if you want to download the YAML file to get all the information, you can do that as well. So here we provide the Open API YAML file that you can use if you want to import that into your code generator, or just open it and get all the schemas. So now let's look at the Health API. Here I'm able to make API requests once I input in some information. I'm going to add my tenant ID. And the tenant ID I'm going to pull from here. So this is my tenant ID, and I'm just going to drop it right here. I also need to get the access token, and you can get the access token once you've logged into your tenant and gone to your profile. And here you can see the API access token. So I'm going to go ahead and grab it. Once it's copied, I'm going to go ahead and paste it. And then I'm going to click Send API Request. Here you can see that my tenant is healthy, and it's giving me the version and all the other information. And then once I'm happy with that result, I can come up here and get code examples. The first example that's available is for curl. I can copy the curl code and try it in a terminal window. Here you can see that it gives me the same information. It's telling me that my tenant is healthy and that everything is fine. Along with curl, we provide Go code if you want, and you can just copy and paste all the code into your development environment. It also gives you Python, so it makes things really easy. And this is just one example, but let's take a look at another one if I want to fetch information about the agent proxy. Again, you can see we give all the code examples, and the tool already knows all the information about my tenant if I want to run more commands. I click Send API Request, and as you can see, it pulls all the information about my agent proxy instances. In my case, I have 2 agent proxies. Again, it's really helpful being able to try the API call here before I start doing any of my own coding and taking full advantage of Aembit's API. Thank you.